Okay, so we are on day 3 of Dragonflight, and I was playing my Boomkin, and I noticed suddenly that my UI wasn't really displaying anymore, and I don't have any weak auras. So this is going to be a video that I wasn't anticipating to make about my UI. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just make a group, and it'll be called Resto Druid, and it'll just be the place where I put all of my auras that we're about to make, and then we're going to go to pre-made auras, and I'm going to make one, and I like to make small auras, and it will be for the cooldown of anything, doesn't really matter. Um, Turn blue and not usable, that's what I like. And this is a good one because it only has one trigger. The next thing we're going to do is right click and duplicate this bad boy a whole bunch of times. I don't know how many we're going to need, but just go with 16. That's a pretty good start. These ones are, I think they're slightly bigger than what I usually use. Select all of these bad boys. I'm going to display and 30 by 30. And then I'm going to launch LVY. And we're going to take a look at precisely where the party frames are. And actually, I'm going to move them closer. Target frame is there. I'm going to put my party frames right underneath my target because that's just what makes sense. And then I like to stack my auras on my party frame for the most part. This one will go here. I'm just going to map out where the party frames are so that I kind of know, have a reference point. And then that's it. The way that I usually do these is this is at y offset of 180. I'm going to normalize that. If this is 263, I'm just going to call it 265 so that these are kind of regular thingies. And then I'm going to say that everybody needs to be at that x-axis. So I can basically fit 9. Got them all in there. I'm actually going to try making them all slightly narrower just for the sake of it because I know what they are without them being full width, and they'll take up less space that way. I think I'd like it if this guy 215, 165. Now we just need to change everybody's trigger name. Okay, so it took a few minutes, but I've reproduced all of the cooldowns I like to track. I've got, except for one thing here. So this is a placeholder right now for a weak aura that I'll download for maintaining, or I guess keeping track of Life Bloom. I like to have my quick, use them a lot, sort of heals on a short cooldown viewable here. It's slightly longer cooldown stuff below that. Self utility, group utility, or teammate utility here. Iron Bark kind of fits in. And then we've got damage spells. So Star Surge, kind of top priority, use it as often as I can. Same with Adaptive Swarm, Convoke is a little bit longer cooldown. And then I've got my stops that are on a cooldown. Below that, I'm going to create a separate group. It's going to be below it, but sort of live like visually separate in its own little category here for consumables. Renew. That's what I'm going to make next. I'm going to duplicate this. It's time to go to Wago, and we're just going to start downloading some nonsense here. So the first thing we're going to go with, clickable Mark of the Wild. Let's go with that for sure. Okay. Put that guy right there. I think I'm going to go with this one because I like the name actually. That's going to be useful with the way that the photosynthesis talent. Let's put this inside of the thing. So I want this to load always. And then I'm going to stick it right up here. It needs to be 25 by 30. And it will live 240, 180. And I don't know why it's not loaded at this point. There we go. Had a group dependency. We don't need that. Okay, so this one actually appears to have some text underneath it. So I'm going to make this first in the group so that it sits on top of everything. Can I read the text? Still can't see what it says. It probably just says that it's not on anybody. And I guess it displays underneath, but that sits underneath all of the things. That's kind of interesting. So I'm going to put it up above, I think. I'm going to see if I can figure that one out. So for this, it displays the name text, format options, anchored to frames outer bottom. Let's put it outer top. Boom, perfect. We love that. The next thing we're gonna get is the adaptive
When you're traveling with 3 kids,
swarm.
pretty.
These are both good. All right, we'll try this one here.
But they're super
Stick
close,
it
though. There's just a
on the
courtyard in
group.
between.
Okay, what else are we working on here? Oh. Battle res. Dorky UI's battle res plus lust tracker. That sounds pretty promising. This one, stick it right here. Oh, it's way off the screen now. That's so funny. Okay. Can I not have it be like way the heck off the thing? Why is this happening? There we go. Okay, there it is. They're both stacked on top of each other for some reason now. Okay. I'm taking that and putting it in here. This guy. Alright, this guy can go. Awesome. You can just go live. It's right here. And we're lusting, that's where you'll go. Oh, it just shows all the time. Oh, that's awful. Trigger 2 active is false, then color is desaturated. Oh, alright, so now we're doing the last couple things that I was hoping to track down here, which are going to be consumables. Specifically, after items, I guess it'll be, it is item, health stone. Are you kidding me? Fucking A. That was way too hard. Okay, the last thing I want for my weak auras is going to be something to show me what I've got available to use when my health goes low. I've gone ahead and duplicated these 3 self-healing buttons here, and I'm going to arrange them so that they appear when I need them to. In order for this to function the way that I'm hoping for it to, we're going to add an additional trigger here. We're going to say that all triggers have to be present in order for this to work. The first one is simply that it shows us the health stone. The next trigger is going to be based on player health if health percentage is less than 35%. We're going to say, then show us the health stone. Finally, I've gone to this display tab here, and for each of these we've turned on the show glow so that they will glow when my health is low. And then when I press them and my health goes back up, they won't glow anymore because they won't be showing at all. Okay, so it's been about a week since I did the initial recording of setting up my UI again, and I've kept everything mostly the same. I've chosen to put the versatility buff here. The reason is actually because while it turns invisible, if everybody in the party has the buff, it's still clickable. So I put it somewhere where it's just less in the way. I went ahead and also grabbed a GCD timer. It just kind of lives down here. It's a weak aura here that shows me which move I'm using as I do it, and that's kind of cool to have with the timer just to watch back the game and see how well I'm rolling my global and which buttons I'm pressing. The last thing I've got, at least for now, is this interrupt tracker. It will list everybody in the party and which interrupt they've been spec'd into, and it shows, of course, whether or not they've used them. I like it. I'm going to put it into the actual Resto Druid group so that if you all would like to download it, it can be downloaded as part of this whole package.